We are, of course, being lied to about Iran. Iran and Israel are at war, with the US already intimately involved and likely to become more so, which, of course, means we'll be spending the foreseeable future getting bashed in the face with lies from the most powerful people in the world. The most immediately obvious of these is the Netanyahu-promoted narrative that Israel initiated this conflict because Iran was on the brink of developing a nuclear weapon. With absolutely no self-consciousness or sense of irony, the Israeli Prime Minister followed the attacks with a statement accusing Iran of genocidal rhetoric, which it has backed up with a program to develop nuclear weapons. Israel, as we all know, has an unacknowledged nuclear arsenal, and its leaders are presently committing genocide in Gaza while spouting genocidal rhetoric. Netanyahu claimed, and if not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year, it could be within a few months, less than a year. This is a clear and present danger to Israel's very survival. The Western political media class have been dutifully promoting this line and uncritically parroting Israel's claim that its unprovoked attack on Iran was preemptive, but there is absolutely no evidence that any of this is true. Benjamin Netanyahu has spent literally decades falsely claiming that Iran was a year or two away from developing a nuke, only to have the calendar prove him wrong with the passage of time over and over again. U.S. intelligence chief Tulsi Gabbard testified just weeks ago that, quote, the intelligence community continues to assess that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon and Supreme Leader Khamenei has not authorized the nuclear weapons program he suspended in 2003, end quote. As journalist Seamus Malekavzali recently noted on Twitter, one of the strongest arguments that Iran has not reversed its decision to refrain from obtaining nuclear weapons is that Iranian nuclear scientists have been publicly expressing frustration about the fact that their government won't allow them to construct a nuke. They want to do it, but Tehran won't let them. U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth helped pave the way for Netanyahu's claims this past Wednesday when he told the Senate that there have been plenty of indications that Iran has been, quote, moving their way towards something that would look a lot like a nuclear weapon, end quote. This claim by Hegseth was swiftly scooped up and promoted by warmongers like Tom Cotton, who said that Hegseth had confirmed that Iran's terrorist regime is actively working towards a nuclear weapon. Cotton's claim was then picked up by war pundit Mark Levin, who has been personally lobbying Trump to greenlight an attack on Iran, sarcastically quipping on Twitter, "So SecDef Hegseth must be lying too. Everyone's lying except the isolationists, cokeheads, Islamists, and Chatsworth Catarlson and their media propagandists." But let's back up and look at what Hegseth actually said. He did not say Iran is building a nuclear weapon. He said, there have been plenty of indications that Iran has been moving their way towards something that would look a lot like a nuclear weapon. If the U.S. had intelligence that Iran was building a nuke, Hegseth would have just said so. But instead, he performed this freakish verbal gymnastics stunt, muttering about indications of something that might kinda sorta look like a nuclear weapon, which his fellow Iran hawks then falsely took and ran with as a positive assertion that Iran was building a nuke. There are other lies being circulated to help market this war as well. As Moon of Alabama notes, the Washington Post's odious war propagandist David Ignatius is pushing the narrative that Iran has been cultivating a relationship with de facto al-Qaeda leader Saif al-Adel. The lie that Saddam Hussein was in league with al-Qaeda was used 2 decades ago to sell the invasion of Iraq. At the same time, Trumpian pundits are currently circulating the narrative that the United States is full of Iranian sleeper cells who could activate at any moment and begin attacking Americans. The most egregious of these is Laura Loomer's repeated claims that there are, quote, millions of such cells awaiting Iran's orders to strike. Possibly the single most batshit insane claim I have ever seen anyone with any major platform make, since it would mean a very sizable percentage of the US population is actually a secret Iranian proxy army. The fountain of lies is just getting started. There will be more. Believe nothing unless it is substantiated by mountains of evidence. These freaks have been caught lying to sell wars to the public far too many times for any of their claims to be taken on faith.